In fact, maybe I should just do that now. So let's take this. Let's duplicate the entire thing. So I have a backup, object and data, join, or maybe convert it to mesh to apply all modifiers, even though I don't think there were any modifiers. Control J, join it all together. And now let's put this same like grungy concrete material on that. Apply the scale, unwrap it with a quick cube projection, just scale it up to whatever. And let's just put this, let's actually just set the origin to the bottom. So let's just, if in object mode, click this button right here, options, and just choose affect only origins, and then we can just pull. You can see when I press G, I'm just moving that origin point around, so I can just pull this way down to like here, and it looks like something is weird with the rotation, so I'll have to deal with that. And also these are not quite lining up with the stair, so I can just pull that down to there, and then pull the origin down to right there. Okay, let's take that setting off so I can actually move it around now. And I think I'll have to apply the rotation. Just double check. Yeah, that's now working properly. Okay, lovely. So let's take this and spam it around, basically. I might want this. I don't really like the shape on here. Let's mirror this so I don't have to worry about this. Just loop, delete these. Oops. Delete faces. And mirror this. I accidentally pressed 1. I didn't mean to press that, but I think it's fine. Sometimes when you press 1 or 2, it just screws up everything. Okay, anyways. This SZ0 to flatten that out. Just pull this down a little bit. Maybe just bring that out so it's not in the way. Or maybe pull it in closer. When I'm doing this, I should have this setting on correct face attributes so that when I move this texture around, it doesn't stretch, but it's already stretched because I didn't have it on, so just unwrap it. Okay, let's put this like over here somewhere, and I want to rotate it 90. Oh, let's also fix that. If I just isolate this with slash, affect only origins, I want the origin in the middle of this. Yeah. And then when I scale it, it like scales nicely. Okay, so let's put that there. Rotate 90. And the good thing about modeling like this is now I have all these pieces. I'm gonna reuse these in future projects for sure. Like I'm just gonna save these pieces as like stuff that I can just pull from in any other project. Okay, and that will save me lots of time in the future. This is fine if it's like clipping through here, it doesn't matter. Okay, that is going to be fine. Maybe let's just, whoops, do that one more time, but then like rotate it 90 so it's like a bit different. And you can't even see that one, so maybe let's rotate this one actually. Or maybe not, maybe it's fine. Let's take these two things, pull them over here. And do I want them like, that's fine if it's like right there. You can't see like the bottom of the stair, so it doesn't really matter. And let's see, do we want even more up here? I don't know. Or maybe on this wall. That's kind of cool there. Maybe it could just like scale that up. Yeah, that looks cool there. Let's, well, let's see. Let's deal with this. This face is now in the way, so I might have to just like, I might have to pull this back somehow. I could just do this quick and dirty if I just put an edge loop right there and then just kind of move it back. That's a kind of a dirty way to do it, but it's fine. And yeah, let's just chuck that a little bit further back. And then I can even like put this in there. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's really nice. I love this. This stuff in here. That's really nice. Okay, so now we just added a lot of detail pretty quickly by just reusing the same thing in a bunch of different places. So let's add some more detail to this. Let's do some edge loops. Let's take these faces. If you just click one, control click, we'll just select like the nearest line towards that one you last clicked. Maybe let's do these ones too. And these ones, why not? And let's inset them. Let's also just go back before I do that. Make sure the scale's applied. Apply scale, so boom. Inset these slightly, and then Alt-E, extrude faces along normals. That's a really, just pull it out slightly so you can see just out that much. really quick and easy way to just add a bit more detail to this. You can see just adding lines all along there and just brings out a bunch of panels, which is it's always nice. Maybe let's do some more of these walkways like along here, just for more like stuff happening. I don't know if I like that. It's fine without it. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. We only have one texture in here, and it's looking fine. So I'm gonna add more later probably, but for now, it's not a huge problem. Maybe I could do the same thing here. Let's add some loops in here. Let's actually do a few more like that, and kind of get like the spacing the same. Select all of those and then just inset, Alt-E, extrude faces along normals, and just get some like nice panels. There we go, lovely. And maybe actually Alt-S to scale along normals, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Good. And boom, even more detail in there, lovely. I think it's time now to add, like, this kind of arch around this thing is pretty good, but I want more detail on the actual like fan itself and also the floor leading up to it. Before that, I'm just actually going to do a quick test render just to see how things are looking with a bit more detail. So let's see what this looks like. Wow, so you can see having those small little railings and stairs and stuff up here, just all these little details of like stuff that's recognizable scale, like you know how big these railings are, right? That just adds so much to the overall scale of like this massive space and this massive thing here. Like what you're just contrasting scale by having like these tiny little things right next to this massive thing, because otherwise like you're not really sure how big this thing could be if there weren't like these tiny things next to it. Like this could be like a foot tall and like maybe the camera's just really close to the ground and like somebody has just like put the camera right on like a sewer floor. But all of a sudden when you add these like man-made objects in here that are tiny, that just gives you a reference for like, oh, okay, well if I know how big these stairs are, now I know how massive this thing is and how big this entire space is. So that helps a lot. And also just adding detail and just interesting stuff happening around. It's always nice. I think I want, this looks a little like hollow in here, so let's see if I can deal with that. I don't really like the texture on here. This doesn't really make sense to be concrete. Like you wouldn't have a concrete fan blade. That's a bit stupid, so we'll deal with that. Also needs more detail around here. Like it'd be cool to add a bunch of insets and extrusions and stuff to that. Maybe same thing on the blades themselves and this thing in the middle. And also like the floor is empty right now, so I'll have to figure out something for that. Also, I should put volumetrics in because that will help with the sense of scale and atmosphere as well. So let's do that really quick. I'm going very fast here, but hopefully this is all making sense. Okay, so let's add a cube, scale it up over like everything. Let's display it as bounds. So just go in here, viewport display, bounds. You can assign a shortcut to that if you right click it and then hit assign shortcut. I made mine D, so I can just hit D on the keyboard and then just quickly go bounds. So boom, like that. Okay, so let's go new texture, delete this, volume scatter in, density 0.01 to start, just scroll that to update it. That's too much, so let's go like half of that. Still too much, so let's go like half again. Anisotropy up, and then if it's still too much, we can like take the color down a little bit. Leave it on gray, like desaturated, but just take the brightness down. And boom, that helps a lot again with this sense of scale. Just stuff that's far away, if it's like a little bit of atmosphere in there, just boom, it just makes it so much nicer to look at, and also just helps with that sense of scale again. Okay, so there is this thing up here too, this guy right here, just delete that. So we could, I think I might want to deal with the lighting a little bit. Yeah, let's see. That's kind of cool, bring it in. Ooh, I'm so excited about this. This one's going to be sick when it's done. Maybe let's make it slightly blue too. Ooh. You know what, I kind of like it on white. do like slightly like blue greenish. That's too saturated, so let's do like 0.1 on the saturation. That's nice. Just a little bit grungy, a little bit like green, and like a little bit gross, but then it makes it kind of cool. Nice. Okay, let's do some more details on this big fan blade right here. So the first thing I want to do, I think, is just add a couple of edge loops. Control B, and let's just zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. Control B, and then I just extrude those in. So that's just slightly more detail, nice. And then, oh, what would be sick actually is if I went to textures.com, and let's go to the regular photo section and just take some like panels or like, what would it be, like sci-fi, just grungy. Oh, here, this would be cool actually. Maybe the roofing. Oh, okay, this is what I want, yes. So let's get this download. So just some like grungy panels. That's exactly what I want. So let's take that. Boom, Control X. Let's go to textures.com. Just paste it in my giant folder that I should probably organize. And maybe let's just, I might just manipulate this texture from here. So let's actually, let's name this. So main concrete. It's fine if this outer ring is concrete. I think I just want to change the fan blades themselves. So let's worry about that after, but I want to get this ring just dialed in. So if I click, you see how there's a 12 right here? That means there's 12 other objects using this texture. If I click that, it means it's just going to make this texture its own unique texture, and whatever I do in here won't affect the other objects. So it just duplicates the texture into a new texture basically, so I can change it and it won't affect anything else. So let's take that textures.com thing that I just downloaded, like this roof tile thing, if I just show you this thing, and I'm going to multiply that into this. Let's see if that works. So if I just run it into here, it's set to multiply, and I want it to be like looping around this, because this is just all cube projected straight on, but I want this thing to actually be kind of unwrapped around in a circle. So I'm going to have to use 2 UV maps. So there's actually a UV map node. So let's take that UV map, just drop that and run it into here. And there's only one option right now, and it's, if you leave it empty, it's just going to use the first one by default. But if I add another UV map over here, so just go to this triangle tab, object data properties, whatever. Go to UV maps and then just click the plus. Now I have another UV map, and I can just take that in here. See how there's a new option right here, UVmap.001. That's the one I just added, so let's just take that one. And now if I unwrap it again, it won't affect anything that's on the first UV map, which is by default when you have the UV mapping into all here. It's going to use that first default UV map. So if I select, you can see in the UV editor, if I have that one selected, which is, it selects by default when you add a new one, that UVmap.001, the new one we added. When I unwrap it now, if I have this one selected, it won't affect the original map. So I'll show you what I mean. If I unwrap it again with a cube projection, which I won't actually do, let's actually zoom in here. I'll show you what's happening. So, whoops. So now when I move this around, you can see something's actually changing. Like it is affecting the UV map, but the underlying texture, the original texture, which is connected to the first UV map, the one that I'm not touching, is not being affected. It's only affecting this image on top, which is being multiplied in through that second UV map. Okay, so what does that mean? Why is that useful? Let's reset the UV map. So U, R to reset. So this one, reset. And now it's just square. So now let's U, and then let's do a follow active quads, which will just, it's a nice way to unwrap cylinders. So we can just do that, and you can see hopefully that it's now like following, the curvature of this. It's like unwrapped it into a circle. It'll be more clear if I just bring this in a little bit stronger. Let's take a color ramp and just really make that really harsh so you can see. So you can see how it's now tiled along in a circle all the way around this thing, which is just perfect. That is just lovely. So let's now dial this in. Sometimes the scale of it is weird. Like I think you want to kind of, you see how this thing I have selected is, I have a face selected here, and it's actually showing up in the UV map. If you just scale this so that it's the same like ratio roughly as this square right here, then everything will line up properly and be the proper scale. So that's cool there. That's fine. If it's close enough, it's like gonna be fine. So that is really nice. Just adds so much detail instantly in there by just using one like grungy image texture. So yeah, look at that. And I think it's too intense, so we'll just dial it back a little bit. But yeah, really, really nice. Okay, so that's that. I could even put that on other surfaces too if I want, like maybe up here on these panels. That might be cool actually. Could try it. Let's just see if I just select this, Shift G, normal. Actually, no, just select them manually. Maybe Shift G A for area. Yeah, Shift G A, select similar area. And then let's just assign a new material and just choose that main concrete.001, the new concrete I made. And let's see if that's actually doing what we want. Now, it's not showing up because this object only has one UV map. And if you remember, we added a different UV map onto that other object. So we have to just click the plus, and now it's showing up. And that is actually really nice. So let's move that around and just find a nice spot for it. I think I have to bring this in a little bit. And then, yeah, that is just really lovely. So even though this texture isn't high resolution, like it's only 1K or even less, like it's, yeah, let's see. I don't think it wasn't this one, but it's close enough, like 1080, or sorry, 1024 by 3, whatever. Very, like pretty low res texture, but since it's just being multiplied into the original texture, which is 4K, you can't really tell that it's like super low res. Like you kind of can if you zoom in and like analyze it, but from out here, like it's totally fine. Not a problem at all. Okay, so let's, oh man, from like this like outline around here, all this place that I added detail in looks just so nice, but then, yeah, it's just lacking in the middle for now on the floor. So we haven't actually done anything there. So let's try and do that now. But yeah, that just looks really nice right there. I'm very, very excited about that. Okay, so now on this thing, let's just see.